This is Matador News.
Good afternoon and welcome to Matador News. I'm Heather Harbin.
And I'm Rochelle Salas.
The debate to repeal and replace Obamacare is underway in 2 congressional hearings. For almost 25 hours, the House Energy and Commerce Committee has been discussing the bill's costs and claims. Pro-Just Republicans announced their plan on Monday. The Ways and Means Committee tweeted that repealing Obamacare would allow Americans to make their own health care choices. But Democrats say the bill would cause millions of Americans to lose their insurance. President Trump says he's going to work hard to get the new bill passed. The committees are trying to move the process along quickly, but amendments from both parties are slowing down the process.
President Trump plans to deliver regulatory changes to make it easier for U.S. banks to lend money. He sought input from bankers to determine which regulations may cripple their ability to lend money. Trump said the previous financial regulatory law was a disaster and pledged to outdo it. Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin was tasked with reporting to the president in June with recommendations on changes.
The White House continues to deny reports that Donald Trump met with a Russian ambassador at a 2016 campaign event. The report claims that Trump met last April with Ambassador Sergei Kislyak moments before Trump called for an easing of tensions with Russia. The claim comes just days after it was revealed Attorney General Jeff Sessions had met with the same ambassador after previously denying any interaction with him under oath. Earlier, former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn was forced to resign for the same reason.
The former director of national intelligence, James Clapper, says there's no evidence of Russia infiltrating the Trump campaign. This comes as a crippling blow to the legitimacy of the dossier, which accused the Trump campaign of the collusion with Russia. Clapper says the only piece of information confirmed true from the dossier was Putin's disdain for Bill and Hillary Clinton.
Hawaii has become the first state to challenge President Trump's new immigration executive order. A federal judge in Hawaii has agreed to hear the legal challenge on March 15th, just hours before it is scheduled to take effect. The judge approved an expedited briefing schedule in order for the case to be heard before the new executive order goes into effect. The president signed the new executive order on Monday. It bans foreign nationals from 6 countries with a Muslim majority from traveling to the U.S. for 90 days and bans refugees for 120 days. The Justice Department declined to comment on the filing.
The discovery of missing links that connects 2 Southern California earthquake faults could create a 7.4 magnitude earthquake ranging from LA to San Diego. The LA Times reports an earthquake of that magnitude would be 30 times more powerful than the 6.4 earthquake that hit Long Beach in 1933, killing 120 people. Classifying the area as one of the continuous fault zones makes it easier for an earthquake to last longer and cause more damage. The new links were discovered under the Pacific Ocean between La Jolla and Newport Beach. Researchers at UC San Diego made the discovery after spending more than 100 days at sea mapping the ocean floor off the Southern California coast.
Illegal border crossings dropped 40% last month, according to Customs and Border Protection numbers. This drop was unexpected because typically immigration increases 20% in February. Officials believe President Trump's anti-immigration stance triggered in part the drop in illegal border crossings.
Police have arrested a man suspected of driving under the influence after he crashed his car into the Downey City Library. Police say the crash happened shortly after midnight last night. Officials say the driver was not injured. He was the only person in the car when police arrived. The rear end of the car smashed through the library wall and knocked down shelves and books. The name of the suspect has not been released.
Torrance police are investigating a car crash that left a 16-year-old dead. Jesse Esport Jr. was a varsity baseball player for South High and hit a home run 2 hours before the crash. He was in the car with his father when an Audi and a Mercedes ran a red light and hit their vehicle. The Audi fled the scene while the other driver stayed and cooperated with authorities. Jr. was pronounced dead at the scene and his father is in critical condition.
Police are looking for a man who tried to lure a 6-year-old girl in Riverside. Authorities say the incident happened last month at a Food for Less. They say the little girl was walking towards the bathroom when the man attempted to lure her by telling the child he would give her a treat. Officials described the suspect as a white male between the ages of 60 and 70, almost 6 feet tall and approximately 20 pounds. The suspect had gray hair and was last seen wearing a black or dark shirt with white lettering. Anyone with information is urged to call Detective Olivas with the Riverside Police Department.
6 people have now been charged with the murder of a Little League coach in San Jose. These are the suspects accused of stabbing Coach Frank Navarro to death last month. Navarro was working security at the Tres Gringo nightclub on February 25th when the attack happened. Deputy District Attorney Lance Daughtry explained the charges.
Not only is the person that actually stabbed Frank Navarro, but everyone else that participated had a role in the accomplishment of the violence that took place in front of Tres Gringos. Our office is going to hold them criminally liable for their actions that night. 2
of the suspects, Santos Trevino, who is accused of the stabbing, and Joseph Esquivel, made their first court appearance. They did not enter pleas and are due back in court on March 21st at the same time as 3 other suspects. The 6th suspect is expected in court later this afternoon.
Burglars stole $500,000 in valuables from Laker guard Nick Young's home in Tarzana. Authorities believe thieves broke into Young's home last month and stole jewelry and other items. The break-in happened while Young was in New Orleans for the NBA All-Star Weekend. This is not the first time Young has been victimized. Thieves stole $170,000 in valuables from his Sherman Oaks home 3 years ago. This burglary is the latest in a string of break-ins throughout Los Angeles. Police are investigating whether the crimes are connected.
Now let's go to Lauren Turner Dunn with sports.
The CSUN women's basketball team defeated Hawaii last night in the Big West quarterfinals, 71-64. Shannon Fluker scored a career-high 39 points. She also broke a school record for points in the season. Fluker is the Big West Player of the Year this season. The Lady Matadors will face Long Beach State at the Honda Center later today. The men's Big West Conference basketball tournament begins today. The Matadors will take Cal State Fullerton in the quarterfinals at 2:30 this afternoon in Anaheim. Fox Sports Big West will broadcast the game. CSUN finished the regular season with a record of 11-18. They were 7-9 in the Big West. The CSUN baseball team defeated Holy Cross yesterday 10-5. The Matadors never trailed. 8 of the starters had hits, and CSUN scored in 5 consecutive innings. CSUN's win pushed them above 500. Their record is now 7-6. The Matadors play Purdue tomorrow at Matador Field. NFL teams are expecting the Dallas Cowboys to release quarterback Tony Romo later today. Romo lost his job to Dak Prescott after starting for Dallas since 2006. Teams that are expected to pursue Romo are the Denver Broncos and Houston Texans. Both are playoff teams but are unstable at the quarterback position. And that's what's going on in sports today. I'm Lauren Turner Dunn. Rochelle, back to you.
Magic Johnson discussed education with middle school students in Virginia today. Magic told a packed auditorium in Roanoke, Virginia, just because you could grow up a certain way doesn't mean you have to have poor dreams. Magic also said he grew up in a similar lower-income community in Michigan, and he stressed the importance of education. He also credited his high school principal, who he said taught him to be a leader.
Public health advocates and the CDC are warning that the proposed GOP healthcare plan would eliminate $1 billion used for programs that aid in preventing disease outbreaks and childhood lead poisoning. Critics of the bill claim that the cuts would cripple the ability to detect and prevent health threats, such as the pandemic flu, diabetes, heart disease, and strokes, among others. Republicans claim that the proposed cuts are slush funds that were spent on Zumba classes and massage sessions.
Health experts fear a yellow fever outbreak in Brazil could spread to the United States. The concern that is the disease could spread like the Zika virus, which also originated in Brazil. Like Zika, yellow fever is also spread by mosquitoes. Experts say the likelihood of an outbreak in America is low, but travel-related cases could occur in warmer areas.
Officials in Guatemala City are investigating possible arson in a fire that killed 22 children and injured 12 others at an orphanage. Most of the victims were teenage girls. Police believe one of the girls set fire to her mattress on her way to breakfast. The fire broke out one day after a riot at the orphanage. 60 children fled the home, and some claimed poor conditions, sexual abuse, and mistreatment.
Iraqi officials say nearly 6,000 civilians have fled western Mosul over the past 2 days. The Iraqi government is already taking care of 100,000 displaced people in refugee camps. Iraqi authorities are trying to retake the city in which ISIS captured 3 years ago.
The trial for South Korea's richest man is underway. Samsung Electronics Vice Chairman Lee Jae-yong is charged with bribery and embezzlement. He's accused of giving millions of dollars in return for government favors. If convicted, he faces up to 20 years in prison. Lee has denied all charges.
Now we go to Noemi Salcedo with entertainment.
Barbie is celebrating her 58th birthday today. Mattel introduced the doll back in 1959 at a New York toy fair. Creator Ruth Handler named the doll after her daughter Barbara. Handler made the doll after seeing her daughter play with paper dolls. Barbie has enjoyed multiple careers in her life, including being an astronaut, nurse, and even president. Academy Award-nominated actress Gabourey Sidibe says in her new book that she received weight loss surgery. Sidibe received the surgery after she was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes a year ago. She says that she didn't get the surgery to be beautiful, but to be comfortable in her own skin. The book is titled, "This Is Just My Face, Try Not to Stare." A new celebrity couple may be on the horizon. E! News confirmed that Jennifer Lopez and former baseball all-star Alex Rodriguez are now dating. This is the latest celebrity romance for A-Rod. As for Lopez, the actress and singer seems to have gotten over her last fling with rapper Drake. Jennifer Garner and Ben Affleck have called off their divorce, at least for now. A source close to them says that they decided to work on their marriage to keep their family together. The actors announced their separation 3 years ago, but remain close for their kids. The couple has now been working things out after going through a rough time recently. They are not officially back together, but a source says there seems to be hope. And that's your entertainment. I'm Noemi Salcedo. Heather, back to you.
Thanks, Noemi. With prom season around the corner, many schools are toughing up prom dress codes. Rockford Boylan Catholic High School in Illinois has been accused of body shaming after publishing a 21-slide presentation about acceptable prom attire online. Parents say it's difficult to find dresses that follow the code.
I'll be honest with you, when we were looking for dresses for another dance, that's all we found. Was very revealing dresses, very short. I think most of them were inappropriate. So it was very difficult.
The school says it introduced the code 2 years ago, but students say it's too strict.
It kind of is, because most dresses are like 2 pieces and they have like a high open back or like a high slit.
The school also implemented dancing guidelines including no grinding, hands on waist, and no displays of affection. Some parents agree with those regulations.
I think there should be some restrictions, absolutely. You got to keep it tame and keep it mellow, keep a lid on it.
Boylan High School's president says that as a private school, they adhere to teaching students moral values that include modesty.
A 19-year-old is happy to be alive. Antonetta Miller Roman had part of her right leg amputated after a crash on a rainy night in January.
I knew they tried everything that they could. I just couldn't believe it. I wasn't ready.
Sissy Horn was driving west and stopped to shield Roman until medics arrived.
I'm just happy that she was there to be there and do exactly what my mom would have done, if she was with me. I'm really happy that I had her.
Her life that night was worth mine, no doubt.
Sissy lives in Napa but drives down often to visit Roman. She is currently planning a getaway with Roman to keep her spirits high.
It's warm and breezy in Northridge at this hour. Today's highs will reach 84 degrees. Temperatures will remain in the 80s through the weekend.
Thank you for watching Matador News. I'm Rochelle Salas.
And I'm Heather Harbin. Have a great afternoon.